Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday to you. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of One Album Wonders, the show where we take a look at those bands who only ever released one album. All right? Just remember the concept, because I get a lot of people on these shows who start naming bands who had tons of albums, but only one big one. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about bands who only ever put out one album, and then they're gone. And I realized, here and there I have mentioned bands who put out like one album back 40, 50 years ago, and then have recently put one album, like the Necromandus from the last episode. So yeah, I had read that they were working on an album for 2017. Didn't actually say that they released it, but as it turns out, they released it very, very quietly. So, that they don't qualify anymore. So, and I do want to make two corrections from the previous episode that we aired yesterday. So, This band is Euclid, not Heavy Equipment. So I incorrectly stated on there that the band is Heavy Equipment. I know that the band's name is Euclid. So, but when you're going through so many of these sometimes, and I do these very early in the morning, so you get a little kind of starry-eyed, right? But yeah, this is Euclid is the name of the band. Heavy Equipment is the actual title of the album. Great stuff. Another correction from yesterday's show. So I was talking about the British prog act Fields, okay, who released only one album in the early 70s, and I actually showed the album from another one-album wonder, Fields. So this is the one I showed. This is not the British band. This is actually the U.S. band, more of kind of like a Cream heavy blues rock style power trio, right? This is very, very good. Really good. Great guitar work. So that's the one I showed you, but I actually talked about this one. This is the actual prog band Fields with all the Mellotron and Hammond organ and lush soundscapes and all that sort of thing. So, but you know what? You can't go wrong with either one of these. Can't go wrong with either one of these Fields. All right. Got a US one and a UK one. Good Fields to be in, both of them. All right, so now let's start on the new selections for today. We're going to kick it off with a band from the US. This release came out in 1971. Stonehouse is the name of the band. Stonehouse Creek is actually the title of the album. One and done band. These guys came together, all notable players in their neck of the woods. I think they were from, where were they? The West Country, near Plymouth, okay, Plymouth, Missouri. And guys had a lot of experience in psychedelia, blues, jazz, country, and hard rock. They all come together to put together this pretty heavy album in spots. Good, blistering hard rock. You got some kind of like Southern rock stuff going on, because a couple of the guys, like I said, had some experience playing country music, but really good album. Lots of killer guitar playing. This is a band, you listen to this and you just wonder, man, what happened? Why weren't these guys huge, right? Really good stuff there. Next up, from Canada, from the Toronto area, we got Nightwinds. Prog band. This was released in 1979. Okay, this is their one and only release, later reissued on Ken Golden's Laser's Edge label. This is a really cool rarity. Produced by two members of Klaatu. Okay, we're a pretty well-known band. Really good symphonic prog, touch of pomp, lots of Mellotron, lots of Hammond organ, 6 and 12 string guitars, bass pedals. You hear a lot of the Genesis influence here, a little bit of Yes, that sort of thing. Really, really strong album. Always love that album cover too. Pretty cool. All right, next up, going to go to Colorado, 1977, Alpha Centauri, or Alpha Centauri, however you like to say it. Self-titled. Okay, these guys were from, like I said, from Colorado. However, they wound up making their way into Canada, and that's where they did a lot of their live shows. Right, they would kind of make a little name for themselves up in Canada, opening up for a lot of the popular bands of that era, late 70s. It's a good mix of hard rock, a little bits of prog, a little bit of pomp. Kind of when you listen to it, I hear a little bit of Styx, a little bit of Starcast, a little bit of early Journey, that sort of thing. Great vocals. Great guitars, cool keyboards, catchy hooks. Dig this a lot. If you like the kind of like mid to late 70s Styx, that's generally what I hear when I listen to these guys. Really, really strong stuff. All right, 1978, we're going to go ahead a year, and this is a band from California. For all of you folks who like kind of like late 70s, early 80s, rare and undiscovered heavy metal stuff, this band is called Alkana. Alkana. Welcome to My Paradise from 1978. This is really good. These guys kind of had that, even though they're from the U.S., they had that kind of pre-new wave of British heavy metal sound. A lot of great crunchy guitars and just epic song structures. A lot of good riffs. Reminds me a little bit of Riot. All right, maybe kind of like that real well-produced and, creative riffing like Boston. All right. You also get a little bit of, that early Def Leppard sound, maybe a little bit of Judas Priest, just really, really good stuff, and killer guitar solos and riffs, and really strong vocals. Very, very good album. All right, this one here, I honestly don't know a lot about this. This was recommended to me. I bought it. I like it. I don't even know. Honestly, you can find no information on these guys. Assuming this was their only release. Ira Blues from Argentina. This came out in 1977. Just really good, heavy blues rock, lots of fuzzy, psychedelic guitar solos and things like that. If you love that sort of thing, Hendrix, Marino, lots of crazy solo in the early Pat Travers, that sort of thing. This is quite good. Vocals are in Spanish. Do want to mention that. Next up, we're going to go to Belgium, 1970. Waterloo, First Battle. Kind of a cool band, I guess you can kind of call them prog. It's like really early prog. Nice use of organ. Got flutes on here, nice guitars. At times a little bit of a classical slant, little bits of blues and jazz. If you love early Jethro Tull, maybe a little bit of the Nice, maybe the first 3 albums of Deep Purple, right, the psychedelic era, that's what you get here. Pretty classy stuff, definitely different. I like it, and that's a Musea reissue right there. Next up, we're going to go to Great Britain, 1972. This is a really good album. It's called Asgard, In the Realm of Asgard. Kind of a cool, early 70s symphonic prog album. It just screams it, right? Look at this artwork. A lot of really, really interesting musical passages on here. This is their one and only album, released on Threshold Records. Okay, Threshold Records, of course, the Moody Blues record label. I think they had high hopes for these guys, but unfortunately, they did not last. Lots of really good symphonic keyboards, great arrangements, really cool vocals. Definitely a little more upbeat and energetic and rockin' than the Moody Blues. Okay, but still a good fit for the label. Unfortunately, that was to be it for them. Really worth seeking out if you're a early 70s prog fan. Next up, 1970 from San Francisco, Hammer. Self-titled one and only release from Hammer, band Hammer. Another cool band. So, obviously 1970 in San Francisco, the psychedelic scene is, running rampant and had been for a couple of years. Here you have these guys, which have a lot of that kind of early psych garage band mentality in their music, but parts of this album is pretty rockin'. All right, you got a little bits of jazz, a little bits of blues, a little bits of classical, a little bits of psych, plenty of hard rock. Really strong album. Dig this one a lot. This is a band that you listen to this and another one of those you're like, wow, this has got potential written all over it. Never actually came to be, sadly. All right, we're gonna go back to I believe British band, right? Yeah, Samuel Pratty. It's actually the name of this album is Samuel Pratty. This Signed and Sealed, I'm not sure what that is. That's the reissue. They threw that on there. Not sure why they call it that. But anyway, really good early 70s British heavy blues rock. Okay. Little bits of psychedelia. Good riffy stuff. Lots of, if you love the first couple Led Zeppelin albums, those in rock and Fireball era Deep Purple, the early Mountain albums especially, really lots of good molten guitar riffs and solos. If you love that kind of early 70s bluesy hard rock sound, can't go wrong with Samuel Pratty. Really good stuff. And last but not least for this episode here, we've got another British band, 1972, Dark, Round the Edges. So this, the reissue on Progressive Line. They've done a lot of cool things. We've actually showed you quite a few CDs that these guys have put out over the years. So this apparently is one of the most sought after, the vinyl of this, one of the most sought after albums of all time. And again, goes for quite an expensive amount of money if you can track it down. But and interestingly enough, so this is a British band, but yet they sound so much like a band from the San Francisco scene, early 70s, late 60s. So here you got that kind of early garage psychedelic sound, the 60s sound, the San Francisco hippie scene, right? Mixed in with a little bit of early prog. All right, nice fuzz guitar in spots. Other different instruments used. The songs are fairly lengthy for the time. Most between 5 and like 7-8 minutes long. Definitely pretty cool. Again, not a ton is known about these guys, but still a really, really good album. Let's see if I can show you some more stuff here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Good, really happy to get a hold of this, right? So there you have it. Those are 10. Well, actually, we got a couple extras because we did a couple corrections from yesterday, but 10 more one-album wonders of things you may want to go check out, bands that kind of released that one album, and then poof, they are gone. We got more of these coming, so I know many of you have said, Pete, keep these episodes coming. We love hearing about these cool one-album rarities. I've got at least enough for 2 or 3 more shows of stuff that I have pulled out that's sitting here. And I still have not gone through everything. There's tons more stuff in my stacks that I'm sure I could pull out. So we've got definitely another 5 or so episodes in for this, I would think, easily. So, but we'll see how it goes, all right? So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up today, we've got, I'm going to review that new Mastodon CD that I was talking about. I also am welcoming back on the show for the first time in a while Butch Jones. He and I are going to do a cool show talking about our favorite hard rock and heavy metal album openers, those songs that kicked your ass right out of the gate and paved the way for a great album. All right, so we got that, as well as our favorite guitar solos from Eddie Van Halen. So that's happening as well today. So stay tuned for all that and lots more. We'll see you real soon. Oh, by the way, and also don't forget to hit that Ko-Fi link below if you're interested in donating to the channel, helping us out here. Every contribution is very much appreciated. And we've also got a link to our merchandise page. We can buy a cool Sea of Tranquility t-shirt or hoodie or hat or coffee mug, sticker, all sorts of stuff. So check it all out. All right, guys, thanks. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.